Real news. Honest and fun political talk weekly on the line 90.7 FM. To start off the week, we had Robert Mueller make a press conference that basically was kind of unnecessary and didn't exactly make anything less confusing than it already was. He, I would say, gave us more questions than answers. But the statement that really went over the line for some people, including Alan Dershowitz, who's a Harvard law professor, was when he said, quote, "If we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said that." So it's almost implying that it's possible Trump did, but they're just not going to rule it. Like, what's that all about?
It's like this is what I got. They came that Mr. Mueller went up and basically said, we can't say that Trump colluded, but we can't say that Trump didn't collude either.
Yeah, really.
Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at you, Democrats. Here, go ahead.
Yeah. It's very wishy-washy and unclear as can be. What do you think of it, Alex?
About that Mueller stuff. I just feel like this whole thing's been a giant waste of time, to be honest. Like, you know, it's been going on for months, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get him," and all it's done is like kind of try to go after his friends and family. It seemed more like to be a political hit job than anything else.
Yeah, it really doesn't prove anything then. Trump hasn't colluded with Russia, hasn't obstructed justice. There's no evidence of that, but there's still plenty of people in this country that actually believe he did. Like, I'll bring you a perfect example of a quote-unquote Republican that believes he did that's really annoying me. Mr. Justin, I'm a Libertarian, Amash, said a few weeks ago in a series of tweets out of the blue, said that Trump was impeachable based on the Mueller report, which is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. And he was actually in a town hall just a few days ago getting ripped by Trump supporters for this, because he's all about, I'm just following the Constitution here. And one girl's like, okay, well, what are you doing about the FISA abuses, huh? You know, or the president was being spied on during his campaign, and you're not doing anything about that. This Justin Amash guy, I think, is just trying to get attention through this, because he's a nobody, libertarian loser that doesn't, he doesn't have a name for himself at all. He's actually in his district. He's losing, he's losing support. Like, each election's getting closer and closer and closer. This guy's a total waste of time loser. I don't think the White House really cares about him, and can't wait till he gets primaried, which he will.
You said he's a libertarian?
Yeah, he calls himself a libertarian, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But he's a registered Republican, and he was voted as a Republican.
Jesus, like, see, the thing with libertarianism I kind of disagree with. It's like such a vacuous ideology can range from people who are just like, you know, basically Democrats who don't like taxes to people who are like basically Stefan Molyneux.
Yeah.
You know, there's a very big range with them.
He could be, like, he's pro-life, and a few bunch of others who are right.
Basically, Stefan Molyneux.
He could be a Democrat, or he could just be somebody that's looking to make a name for himself.
Libertarianism is just as stupid as socialism. It's
second.
It's like just as Fantasia. Like, oh, you're telling me we're gonna live off of chalk, pencils, and paper? Like, come on now, this is the U.S. government. Like,
yeah.
you have to spend some money at the same time. With socialism, you can't spend everything. Like, there has to be a fiscal policy, but it's a balance, and it's like you have two extremes. Knock it off, get some done.
Yeah, I know, it's very unproductive, and I think he's even been on record saying, like, impeaching Trump would be unproductive. Don't fact check me on that. I don't know if that's true, but this guy is a basket case. My God. What is with these Republicans that can't, like, it's on such a basic thing, back the president? I mean, this is our guy. He's the leader of the party. And on something that he's clearly, even Mueller himself said that President Trump didn't collude, and he kind of left obstruction up in the air. But anybody with a brain knows he didn't, obstruct justice.
The media is like hypnotizing now. Like, to be honest, it's hypnotizing, and it's all around. Like the media is grossly liberal.
Oh,
like, you look at MSNBC, CNN, you got Fox doing whatever they're doing. You really don't. I mean, you don't have, like, Fox News is probably the only major mainstream conservative outlet, and then you have like a bunch of smaller. But that's pretty much it. Like, everything, literally everything. Late night television, all liberal, right? Everything is liberal. You look at the movie, you go to see a movie, all there is liberal political undertones on pretty much everything. It's all around you, and it really is hypnotizing when somebody tells you over and over again one thing, anything, and this goes with psychology too. Eventually, you're going to be conditioned to kind of think it. Like, it's kind of, it's conditioning. That's basically all. That's all it is.
Anything to add, Alex?
And the thing is, too, it's not even just like the movies or the music. It's like getting down to companies now. Like, I saw a report the other day that's, companies like every company now is going to take a political stance on all sorts of stuff. Like, I think Salesforce, which I've seen before in the business world, they're like refusing to do business with places that sell certain guns, like stuff like that. It's becoming almost monopolistic practices, with all this collusion between big tech companies, and they're all based in the same part of the world. It's all based in California, Silicon Valley, or the West Coast in general. They're all colluding against. It's not even just gun owners now; it's also against like pro-life people. Like, there's companies that are like, what was it, Netflix and a few others that are refusing to do business in certain states because they don't like their pro-life politics.
Yeah, a lot of them are doing stuff in
a company that refused to do business in California because they were like open, like sanctuary cities. They just stopped doing business there because this is just becoming like, why does everything have to be so politicized?
Well, there's a lot of money that's going into these companies too. Like, a lot of foreign money that goes into these companies too. But I'll throw something else too. Like, we're talking about like music, movies, all that stuff.
Sure.
You remember how ESPN started getting political? Like, with sports, right?
Yeah.
With Jamel Hill, and so here's a little nugget that I think most people didn't really know.
Dish out this nugget.
So was it Disney bought a lot of Fox's assets, right? Like, that Disney bought a lot of Fox's, everything except for Fox News and like Fox Sports.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So part of that was they allowed it to happen. Like, the government, the Federal Trade Commission, or whoever,
FCC.
the DOJ, they allowed it to happen. They allowed the merger to happen.
Yeah.
But they had to sell off the Fox Sports to Sinclair Broadcast Group. So now what you have is a liberal, like ESPN got like liberal or whatever, but now Fox Sports, like FS1, FS6, like a lot of these guys have started taking a more conservative route too, because like, who's the one, Jason Whitlark or something like that. I think he's one of the ones that shows up with Ben Shapiro.
I don't know.
Yeah. So in any case.
Well, I got to talk about Ben Shapiro later. Thanks for reminding me.
So now what happens is even the sports media is like starting to get real political, like one side versus the other. It's like, but I mean, it's just so much. It's so much. Like people, and people don't get it. Like, or these companies don't get, either these companies don't get it or they don't care. Probably the latter.
Generally, they don't care.
Probably they don't. Like when people want to be entertained, like when you come home from a long day work, or you spend your time studying, and you've blown out your brain doing whatever it is you're doing throughout the day, you want to escape all of what's going on in the world. I want to watch a movie because I want to escape a little bit. I want a little bit of fantasy going on. Okay,
How dare you?
Right? It's like if I want to go see a sports game, or if I want to watch ESPN, or I want to do it, like I want to escape the political scene. Okay, don't be bringing that crap in my home, like where I'm supposed to, you know, where I'm supposed to run away from all of that stuff. It's just not, it's not fair. I mean, it just isn't.
Yeah, I know. That's like the problem they're running into, and the left is trying to politicize entertainment more. That you've seen with the NFL, you see with Hollywood all the time, but they're going so far that people are just getting annoyed and they're turned off by it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's going to happen when you do that, because people are going there to be entertained. They're not going there to be lectured on politics.
Yeah.
But the left has understood longer than the right is that you influence people through culture, but they're going too far now that they're like making it too blatant that it's failing. But
well, you know what? Here's another kind of interesting thing. Who's letting like Disney and pretty much just Disney right now buy up all these other companies? Like, why is the FCC turning a blind eye to this?
I think because it takes a long time for them to do these sort of things. Because they did one on the Time Warner and Comcast deal, and they let that go through. The DOJ let that go through, or whoever deals with that. I think with the Disney and 21st Century Fox, I'm going to check. I forget if they ruled on that, but I don't think they have.
I know Disney's been buying up all sorts of different properties, and I'm not a big fan of what I see going on with that.
Oh, yeah, they've done a lot.
Especially with Disney's bias and how big they already are. Like, they really don't need to be taking on all this other stuff.
Yeah, they're a monopoly now.
There's a lot of like high corporate control that goes over in social media too. Like they have their gross imprint too on, like, even on YouTube, right? You see like Steven Crowder getting railroaded
by Vox.
Yeah,
they're trying to shut him down.
Yeah,
they are actually running. If you guys check out on Twitter, Carlos something, I forget his last name. He's the guy in the Vox videos that Crowder mocks a lot, because Crowder does these rebuttals of Vox videos in his videos, and he's trying to shut down Crowder for harassment, a bunch of other stuff because of supposed homophobic like slurs or something, whereas Crowder's just saying they're jokes. And YouTube replied to the guy's tweet saying, "We're gonna look into it. We'll DM you." It's basically what they said. So yeah, we're in a and he was literally just talking about, because he was rebutting a video I saw yesterday where Vox was talking how conservatives control the media, how Fox News is there even if you're not watching it. It was a very silly video with not many good arguments. It was a lot of bad arguments. And Crowder was basically saying, how these big media people are, controlling the marketplace. And Vox literally proves his point by trying to shut down a smaller conservative outlet that's not the establishment big media.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, it's like you can't, once you get big enough from a media perspective, you start losing but not only do you start losing authenticity, but you start losing like the actual entertainment value too. Like you see, like most of these big outlets start becoming bland, and you start seeing a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Even like music, some of the best music around is not on a big label. Like you could,
Yeah,
you know how
yeah.
many, you know how many small, some of the best music that I've ever heard, like some of the best records that I've ever bought, were not big label records. Like they're not. It could and it's like you see it's like the top 40 is just nothing but just brainwashing corporate trash. It's like you have the same stuff over and over and over again. Like it's like you ever watch the radio, or you ever watch the radio? You ever listen to the radio, or like whatever, and they're like, oh, for the first time here's new blah
new
blah
band,
blah blah blah, and you listen to the song and it's like, oh, this song sucks, and then you're like, and then so they play it over and over again, and it's like, oh, by the time, oh, this is tolerable.
It's not too bad. Yeah,
it's not too bad. No, they brainwashed you into thinking, oh, it's not,
to say it's trash.
Yeah, but that's like these top 40. A lot of these top 40 stations are owned by these big label companies too. Like it's a whole market that's like, they're in on it.
Oh, I know. Like I'm gonna play at the end of this hour an indie band that does some good stuff, but nobody really knows about. I mean, they do touring and whatnot. They have a good following, but they basically built that on their own. They haven't used big labels. They're fully independent, and they just sort of play their songs everywhere. I mean, it's hard to break through nowadays as an independent label. Like we're basically told who to like.
I don't know. I don't know about that one though. I think we're starting to see independent like artists, because it doesn't take much. And like now it really doesn't take much to we have a friend who has an independent band,
We do.
Yeah.
Avery Levan.
Yeah. We just busted him out on the radio.
Plugging him.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying and it doesn't take much because because all of this stuff is now affordable. Like a lot of this media stuff, like the recording software and the interfaces, they're affordable now. So you don't really need to go spend hundreds of dollars an hour to go to a freaking studio.
You can do it from your own home.
Yeah, you can take that hundred and some bucks toward building your own. Look, all I did when we were doing our own uncensored podcast,
that was your stuff.
That was all our stuff. That all I did, all in all, I probably paid about $1,100 for all of it. But well, of course, I already had one of the mics I had already bought years ago. Some separate project. But for $1,100, we could have, and that sounded really good.
Our podcast, yeah.
Our podcast sounded really good, and quality wise. But
and content wise.
Well, yeah, it always
naturally
always sounds good content wise. But but yeah, you don't need that. So now these big labels need something to suppress these independent labels with. Bless you.
Sorry, thank you.
I was getting,
sorry.
I was ready to go.
He was ready.
No, but they need something to suppress with, and I feel like that's what they're doing with YouTube. Right? You have this big corporate suppression.
Yes.
They tried to, and they always do it. Once they get to that point of big corporate status, it's like they're trying to suppress everything below that's trying to kind of fight their way through. And yeah, that's what you see with YouTube. It's because they have them in their pocket. They have these big corporate guys, they have them in their pocket. You look at Steven Crowder, these are the big companies are going after them.
Oh yeah.
They made a video mocking Kiss.
Yeah.
And then Warner Brothers tried to throw that one out.
And now they're fighting that copyright strike again.
Yeah. This is what they do. This is what they do, and I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna be able to win it in the long run. I don't see how that happens, but I don't see there being much of a choice right now. At least Steven Crowder could, but it's good. I'll say this is good that Steven Crowder's actually doing it, because like he doesn't have to. He doesn't need. I don't think he really needs YouTube to really be successful. Like he could stick to the Blaze TV. He could stick to the Blaze TV stuff and really kind of dig. And he could probably find other avenues and still be successful. But these guys are legitimately like they're.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I'm gonna talk about. I'll talk about this real quick too. All these people that have been banned, like from the internet. I'm not gonna say social media, but from the internet.
Yeah.
People like Milo Yiannopoulos, Laura Loomer, Alex Jones, Tommy Robinson, Gavin McInnes. If you all download the Telegram app, there are channels that they have created where you can stay up to date with them. They send you stuff right in there. It's basically like a Twitter, but I guess say a little simpler, and it's directly in one app to your phone. And they've been using X as an encrypted app, and Telegram has committed themselves to free speech so far. Yeah. It's looking pretty good, but I was catching up on Milo's channel, which is, by the way, extremely entertaining. If you want to laugh, look at Milo's channel. You will laugh your butt off. And I've been catching up on it last night, and he was talking about how the problem is that when they ban you from the internet, not just, Twitter. Twitter's nothing now. They just getting banned from Twitter is one thing. But if you get banned from everything, your life is miserable now. You are nothing. You are unknown. You're an unperson. And that's what he was trying to tell people, is that the problem is, like, if you put an article out there, if you put a book out there, you can be remembered. That stuff stays out there, can be, spread everywhere, can be published on other things. But when they take down all these social media platforms you're on, all these place to donate you on, you are nothing. Nobody remembers you now. You are forgotten. You are gone. You are lost. And he says that is the problem. If this stuff didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. And that's why they keep doing it, because they know they can squash influential voices by silencing like this. So if Crowder gets banned from Twitter, kind of a big deal, but not really. And now, used to be a massive deal. When Milo was banned from Twitter, it was a huge deal. Now it's like, another person banned. But when they take Crowder off of GoFundMe, when they take him off of Patreon, when they take him off of PayPal, when they take him off of any internet thing ever, that's when he becomes forgotten. Of course, when you silence somebody, people are naturally and psychologically inclined to check them out because they're curious, because they're like, okay, well, why is this person being censored? I mean, there's got to be something here. There's that whole Streisand effect. But at the same time, this can have big implications.
They do have to
do.
Oh, was that Alex?
Here's the thing with all that. Like, I think someone like Elon Musk needs to just kind of make a service, because he's got that type of money.
Yes.
I'm glad Telegram exists, but it's only a matter of time before Vox or Vice makes an article and it's like, look at all these like evil right wingers on this website.
Well, they've already made articles saying Telegram is a new platform for the alt-right.
They've done, we've had other platforms like Telegram. There's Gab before, but then, all it takes is one big article and a big push by the media, the leftist media conglomerate, to go take them down.
Yeah.
Like, everything's only one step away from being taken down by the hate mob and the, leftist industrial complex.
Oh, yeah, because Telegram's a chat service that's been used by a lot of people for a long time, but... there's articles already starting. I found one from the Daily, from Quartz. Twitter, Facebook, and Insta bans send alt-right to Gab and Telegram. See, they're already setting this up to be a platform for the quote-unquote alt-right, even though none of these people are alt-right at all. I don't even think Richard Spencer's on Telegram. I don't think he has a channel on here. I saw Lauren Southern create one. But the guy that used to be on Twitter, Nick Monroe, who used to have these awesome threads with great journalism, great work. He was in Gamergate, finding out a lot of stuff. Like, he'd make these amazing threads on people. All his work is now gone. Why? Because he was just banned from Twitter. And now he's on Telegram, and Milo's kind of been giving him some constructive criticism on how you can't put all your eggs in one basket, especially one like Twitter that isn't permanent. All your work is now gone, because that's what happened to him. He had all this great work. It's now gone. All gone. Twitter banned him.
It'll happen eventually. That, you're not safe no matter where you're at.
Right.
It's just a matter of time, and they just keep talking to each other. like there's really not much we can do at the current time. Like the only thing that could really stop that would be someone with the money of Elon Musk, or like maybe Donald Trump making an America first, like chat platform or like YouTube platform. That'd be the only thing that could withstand that. You need a big name like that to be able to resist these attempts to shut them down.
Well, I think we need some regulation on the internet where you can't discriminate based on political views, because so many of these people didn't violate their terms of services. They were just simply banned for political views. Nick Monroe did screw up and was banned because he violated terms of services, but Milo didn't. Tommy didn't. Laura Loomer, I don't think, did at all. Alex Jones didn't.
Yeah, I think a political discrimination act should be made. I feel like something like that should be made, like where it's
political
like
civil rights.
Yeah, like political discrimination. Like you're not going to be able to go after somebody where it's illegal to go after somebody based off of political views, because it's like you can't just do that. Like it's because it's not. I feel like it's not enough. It's not enough to just go, oh, you're just getting in the way of my free First Amendment rights. That's not cutting the mustard, like, because there's ways around it, like, especially with social media, there's ways around, like, oh, we didn't block your First Amendment rights. Look, we're a private business. We can do whatever we want, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, like if you create something like a political discrimination act or something like that, I know that sounds a little excessive, but it's like, but something along those lines, like I feel like that would shut a lot of this down, because then it's like, well, now you have, but of course liberals wouldn't want that, because then you'd have to actually judge them based on the content of the material, whatever material they have, which is not really much of anything right now. Like all it is, because look at CNN and all these mainstream media outlets, all it is anti-Trump. There's no journalistic value to really anything that they do. All it is anti-Trump. Let's get Trump this, Trump that, like it's not news, it's not journalism, it's just
fluff.
It's fluff.
Let's go into something that Phil alluded to unintentionally, but there is this Twitter account called Left Wing Watch that is now being called #BenShapiroLeaks. Now, I heard about this through Milo's Telegram channel, and basically over the next few weeks, they're going to be giving us leaks about Ben Shapiro from some whistleblowers. Ben Shapiro, if you don't know, is a conservative commentator from the Daily Wire. I mean, conservatives is a broad umbrella I'm going to give him, because he doesn't like Trump. He's a self-described never-Trumper, and he's more of a neocon type of conservative, in my opinion. So the leaks that have come out, though, and take them with a grain of salt, don't know if they're true, but I figured I'd just mention them. One of them says that Ben Shapiro threatened to fire any Daily Wire employee who defended Judge Jeanine because he wanted her slot at Fox. And then a second leak that came out yesterday said that Ben Shapiro has engaged in an extramarital affair with a Twitter personality whom you all know, according to the woman's ex-boyfriend. This is all... I was quoting that exactly. I don't know anything else beyond that. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah. I can see him doing that stuff. I mean, I'm glad someone's finally digging up some dirt on Ben Shapiro from the right, because he really infuriates me. Like, he goes on and attacks Alex Jones and Milo all the time. He punches right probably more times than he punches left. Like, he thinks he's smarter than he actually is. Like, he just, I mean, he's a good debater, but other than that, he's very, egotistic. Not like those people.
Yeah, because Milo showed a quote from one of his articles. I'd known about this before, but Ben Shapiro calls Milo alt-right and racist in an article, which is a blatant lie. He says that Milo advocates for a white ethno-state.
What?
I know.
Yeah, so my husband can go and get discriminated against. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that's exactly what Milo wants.
If the Nazis come back, he's the first one that's going to be put in the chamber.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I thought it was so silly. Ben Shapiro saying that was an obvious little jab at Milo. I think he just doesn't like Milo.
The one thing I got so the one thing that I started losing steam with, like I liked Ben Shapiro at first because he's a really good debater. Really, like the one thing that like pissed me off about him was, and like so many other people too, it's like you put yourself in prominence with, you know, this debating and going after the crowds and stuff like that. Anybody who opposed you, you know, you debated them, and you know, and then all of a sudden you just got safe. Like it feels like it. To me, it feels like once you started getting popular enough, you went the safe route, and it's like it's almost like a sellout kind of feeling.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, yeah. So now you have your Ben Shapiro show, your Daily Wire show. You have the Westwood, like you're syndicated on Westwood One. You know. You have these New York Times bestseller books, and now it's like, well, now I'm gonna play it safe. It's like that's, you know, I can't help but lose respect for that, because it's not what got you there. Like you got there going after the very, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I would contrast that with Milo, since he's in the discussion, because Milo is somebody that I would argue has gotten more dangerous, more controversial, and more provocative as time goes on. I'm going to post this in our Discord channel, on Versus Discord channel, right now in the general section. This is something Milo said about Ben Shapiro. I can't say it's on air, but he says a lot of funny stuff in there. But somebody commented on his post and he replied to it. But you know, he's somebody that I can say definitely is very ballsy. He's not afraid to attack anybody on any side. I give him a lot of credibility for that, because I don't like punching to the right, but when it needs to be done to people like Ben Shapiro, you can't be afraid to do it.
I wouldn't say it's really punching to the right. That's just defending the rest of the right from his nonsense, because he already punches to the right. You know, he's a traitor in some respect. He doesn't care about like actual conservatives on the field who aren't as like established as he is at the current time.
Well, when Milo gets banned, or when Alex Jones gets banned, or Gavin gets banned, does Ben Shapiro say something? Does Ben Shapiro host them on a show? No.
He doesn't host. I do remember him saying something about like Alex Jones. Like he was like, yeah, I don't like him, but I don't like this. I did see, I forget what interview it was. I saw something the other day about that, but still, it's just lip service. You know, on the, you know, he might say something like that, but he doesn't actually mean it or really even care. You know, he's just happy that he has his show and his income stream coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny to see how the mighty have fallen, and they kind of contrast him to someone like Stefan Molyneux. You know, I was looking at him, and he's had some pretty good success. He's got like, I think 4 books published, and he's got his own service, but you don't see him doing stuff like that. Like he did an Ask Me Anything the other day, and you know, he did a pretty good job with that. Now he has his problems, but I've never really seen him punch to the right.
Yeah,
you know, he tried to go on tour with what was it,
Lauren Southern,
or the Canadian chick with the South Africa and the Borderless documentary, and then they got kicked out of Australia, and New Zealand.
So did Milo, and when he was trying to do a tour of fan culture in Australia, it got canceled. And with Tommy Robinson, they both that 3-way, and Gavin was there too. There's a lot of people on that tour, and it all got canceled. Milo got banned from the country.
You know, the thing is too, like when Stefan does something, you know, he'll get kicked out of stuff like that, but like he'll get people on, like Alex Jones. He's had Alex Jones on his podcast before. He doesn't shy away from people like that. Yeah, you know, everyone hates. Well, even if he doesn't agree with everything that he said, and he's even brought this up before, like, you know, he said a lot of things true, especially about like 9/11. You know, he's had his mistakes with Sandy Hook, but you know, you shouldn't go and like unperson someone over a mistake.
Right. And the other thing is, I noticed this is becoming a trend now to shut people down or to discredit them, is the left specifically has gone hard with guilt by association. So if you have a show, doesn't matter what it is, it could be the Rubin Report, something as basic as that. If you have, let's say, Milo on your show or Stefan or Alex Jones, they will write articles and go on Twitter outrage rants about, oh my God, so-and-so is having an alt-right Nazi on their show. And they do this guilt by association where you can't even have people you disagree with on your show. You have to have people that align with your viewpoint on your show. Doesn't that create an echo chamber? And a perfect example is with the Rubin Report. He was trying to have Mayor Pete Buttigieg on his show. And Dave Rubin's kind of left-wing, kind of centrist-y, and Buttigieg is a Democrat candidate. They could have probably plenty of room for agreement, but the Twitter outrage mom talked him out of doing his show, and now he couldn't go on. So you're going to see this now with Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan doesn't have any pretty edgy guests on anymore. I mean, on occasion he will.
He had Alex Jones on the other day.
He did.
He had Anthony.
I'll give him credit for that, but has he had Milo back on again? Has he had Gavin back on again?
He has had Anthony Cumia back on a couple of weeks ago.
He has had Anthony Cumia back on, yeah.
Anthony Cumia is probably my favorite personality out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. I would venture to say he's the OG when it comes to like conservatives being blocked out. He's the first. I would say he's the first because he got knocked off of his show on his popular show on Sirius XM. He got booted from Sirius XM. How does that happen? Like
Stern hasn't been booted.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I think Joe Rogan might be getting close to getting kicked off of YouTube or something. Because if he keeps, like I said, he's toned down how many controversial guests he's had on. Like I said, hasn't had Milo, Gavin, some of these on, but he had Alex Jones on recently. He had Elon Musk get into some trouble. He had Cumia.
The Twitter CEO on twice.
Yeah, but the second time he got BTFO'd by Tim Pool real badly because Tim Pool just grilled him on everything and he didn't know how to respond. We're getting a phone call here. I'm going to pick it up, but continue.
Yeah. Our stuff hasn't been transmitted again.
Yes.
But did you see the one yet where he had the Adam Ruins Everything guy on there again?
What? Say that again. I'm sorry.
One where he had the guy from Adam Ruins Everything on.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Jeez, that one was a piece of work. I tell you what, like that Adam, whatever his face.
Adam Conover. Yeah.
He can be such a condescending, guest on there. He's like, just having to be contrarian about everything. Like he upsets me, and like his show. I don't know if you're actually watching Ruins Everything.
I did. It started getting real like grossly liberal like after like the first season.
I hate to interrupt this conversation, but we have a caller that's a long-time listener, first-time caller that's now on. Can you hear us, sir? Let's see.
Let's see.
Oh, can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, no, I hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Sorry, I didn't have you on.
No, that's fine. I hate that board. It doesn't work well.
Yeah, no problem. What did you want to say? Give us your 2 cents.
No, my uneducated man on the street 2 cents about Rogan is that I think that he's a sort of like pseudo credulous figure who's pretty dangerous because I think that he leads a lot of like teenage men to become the alt-right, because even though he doesn't have on like the occasional liberal guest, like he does have like these Milo people and like Alex Jones, and those kids are going to Google them.
So do you think like Milo Yiannopoulos is a gateway to the alt-right then?
I would say that Milo Yiannopoulos is explicitly alt-right. I would call Joe Rogan an unwitting gateway. But yeah, I would call Milo like explicitly on the far right.
So let me ask you a question here.
Sure.
What do you consider alt-right? What's your definition of alt-right?
Well, the problem with the word alt-right is that it's very amorphous and sort of evolving. But I guess my definition of the alt-right, which sort of lines up with how it was coined by the guy Richard Spencer, another heinous, but somebody who believes in whether they explicitly state it or not, somebody who believes in policies that will lead to the establishment of a white ethno-state in America, and who are for the upward redistribution of wealth to the 1%. And
Okay.
that's vaguely what I consider to be the alt-right.
I would agree with that definition that they all advocate for the progression toward a white ethno state, but why would Milo be alt-right then when he has a black husband?
Well, I think that Milo's thing, and again, we're running into the trouble here of like all of these people are very, very slightly different. And personally, I would think that Milo is doing a sort of like moral licensing thing. But I think that just generally speaking, Milo Yiannopoulos is a right-wing provocateur who, is for these policies that would, on the whole, lead toward an American white ethno-state. Now, is he going to advocate for genocide? I don't think so. I don't think he's that extreme. Quite frankly, he just seems like a grifter to me. But I think that you can believe in racist policies while still not being explicitly racist in your everyday life.
Okay. Do you have something to say, Phil?
I mean, so would, I don't know, so what would you think, like somebody like, not somebody not as a provocateur? Well, actually, Steven Crowder, do you think Steven Crowder is just as bad of a provocateur? Or
I think that Steven Crowder is worse because he still has a platform. Like Milo, like there's nobody listening to him because he got the platform. Crowder still has a pretty, vocal mouthpiece right now.
So would...
But in terms of like damage done, I don't know. Frankly, I don't listen to either of them enough because, I can only take so much of it.
Here's my thing. At what point is anyone on the right considered a agent, a gateway drug to the alt-right? Like, basically, from what I'm understanding from your argument is like, he's basically kind of right-leaning in some of his ways. He doesn't seem like to me, Milo. He just seems kind of almost antithetical to the alt-right. If you actually kind of listen to this guy, he's been, everyone on, a lot of people on the alt-right hate him because he is a homosexual who's engaged with a man, in Congress who is, also he's black and a homosexual. That just doesn't seem like it's something that the alt-right.
Is he like a British Jew too?
Yeah, he
like
kind
that?
of is.
Yeah,
he's an immigrant.
It's.
Yeah, and I think
just
you're
don't see it
definitely
with
right. You're definitely right insofar as like it's hard to define this.
So yeah, but I would, it's to me, it's hard to draw causation to if you believe in, let's say, limited immigration or, deporting illegal immigrants. That doesn't lead to an alt-right white ethno state. People of different ideologies or different, I guess you could say, identities can believe in the same thing, but for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
For example,
exactly.
Yes. But that doesn't necessarily lead to these things because, let's say we decrease some immigration. America's not going to become a white ethno state because there's millions and millions of black, brown, Asian people all over the country. And, you're not going to get rid of them. So the idea of a white ethno state is never going to happen in America.
No, I agree with you. And I think that, if I can allow myself to get even more irritating here for a moment.
Sure.
I think that what we're looking at here is an argument where you can't ignore the economic realities. So America, if you look at it from a zoomed out lens, if aliens came to Earth and they just looked at America's composition, who has the money, who has the power, what it is effectively, broadly speaking, is a white supremacist country that allows for very limited upward mobility of people who aren't white. And so,
how do you come up with that assumption again?
Because if you look at the people in power, if you look at the composition of the upper decile of wealth in this country, it's overwhelmingly white. It's overwhelmingly white.
What do you define as white?
You're Caucasian. However, the statisticians draw up those numbers. Identifying as white, European descent, American descent. All that.
Do you say that people of Jewish descent would be considered white?
Well, I mean, I don't. The problem with that is that's another thing that leads to infighting on the alt-right. That Jewish people, also have been discriminated against in this country pretty badly.
I get that, but there's a lot of people, who are pretty wealthy who are of that. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you want to go and look at the top, percentage of people who make money. There's a lot of people who are Indian. Like on average, the average Indian immigrant, they're making, I think, over that. But, they're getting close to, maybe they're not the 1%, but they're up in that upper echelon of wealth. You have a lot of people who are of Jewish descent who have lots of money. It's not just white people. So I don't see how aliens would see this as being a solely white problem.
It's not just white people. You're right about that. But it's majority white people, and you have these, passive ideologies in America. The pull yourself up by your own bootstraps rhetoric that leads to the establishment of certain stuff like model minority ideas, which are also, inherently racist and bad. So I think that when we're thinking about how do we define people who are on the right, if we think about conservatism as literally being a means of conserving the current power structures and the status quo, it's serving a group of people who, on the whole, tend to be white. And again, we're not talking about universals here, but I think that just in general, America has had a really hard time grappling with how a lot of this generational wealth was accumulated. And if you interrogate, those individual families, a lot of it was through exploitation.
Well, last question, real quick. Then we have to go to.
Isn't that how all wealth is gained though, by exploitation?
Well, I mean,
really.
So I'd agree with you.
Well, and I like to add real quick, so we gotta go do a quick break at the top of the hour, but then we'll continue this conversation. Wouldn't you say though that the reason that the majority of rich people are white is because we are a majority white country? Therefore, you're gonna find, proportionally, most people that are wealthy are going to be white because most people in this country are white.
Yes, most people in this country are white, but the way that this country was settled was explicitly white supremacist. America was founded by majority white people. And, we don't see parity. You're right to consider, wait a minute, if the population's X% white, then we would expect X%, to be wealthy, a representative sample. So those upper echelons, if it were just allowed to, I'm not being very articulate, but the point is that, you're right, but there is not class parity along the percentages of, racial lines as you would expect if it truly were random and meritocratic.
Well, we just had a caller on, which was a pleasant surprise. The caller was from the Narcissist Hour on the line, 90.7 FM here. I've never met this person before, I think, but thank you, sir, for calling in. If I haven't already thanked you, we always appreciate cards. If we agree, disagree, just love having people on. That was an interesting conversation that I didn't expect to have. Disagreed with him on many things. There were some things we agreed upon, but we pretty much disagreed on everything. But that's okay. I don't want to bash it too hard since he's not here to defend himself, but what did you guys think of the conversation? Anything else you want to add since I had to cut short there?
The argument was poor in logic.
Okay.
The argument was just poor. It's first the definition of alt-right, I guess I agreed with that. I kind of agreed with. Yeah.
Now there's a complete falsity, I believe, that he said. It was like that they want to do the transfer of wealth
to the 1%. Yeah, that's not true.
That's false. If you actually listen to anything that Richard Spencer, like any other, quote unquote alt-right ideologies based on, they want to do wealth redistribution, just as much as anyone, like maybe not quite as much as the communists do, but they do approve of that. Like, look at basic Nazism economic practice. Look at fascist economic practices. They are not pro free market.
Yeah,
They,
that's right.
They want to do distribution, a strong state government. It's pretty much just like, a lot of aspects of it can be like communism, but with a different
Yeah.
1%.
Like
Instead of
communism.
the 1% being just people with wealth, they'll be the Jews or, like insert enemy here, like the industrialists,
Communism is actually really terrible when it comes to wealth distribution. It's like on paper, like if you read the Communist Manifesto, it appears good, right? Or I guess, but it doesn't. It's not realistic because the people in power like to maintain power. They like to maintain their financial bearings. That's why a lot of these communist countries, you look at China, you look at Cuba, you look at Venezuela, you look at all of these countries, the family that's in charge are some of the richest people in the world, and of course the people are living with a grossly poor quality of life.
Like basically, why would you want to give the government power when it creates things like, just to distribute wealth when they can't distribute driver's licenses effectively? Look at the DMV.
Yeah,
that's government efficiency right there. Look at the roads in Pennsylvania.
I agree. I don't think that there's a single branch of government that runs effectively or efficiently or any of those things. And the only thing the government should really, I always feel like, in my opinion, the government should only be big enough to keep a platform for its people, right? You need to build a platform so that the people can prosper. The rights of the people are maintained, and it's a platform that the people can prosper. That's it. Anything else is really excessive.
I definitely agree with that statement. Like, I don't think the government should be, ensuring that everyone makes equal amounts of money, but I think that the government should make sure that everyone has an equal right to like free speech. I agree with that part of it. That's why I think the government needs to do a better job with, but they don't right now.
Agreed.
Stuff like that, just to ensure basic civil rights and to ensure that we're protected. That's really kind of what I see the government as. Everything else I don't think is necessary.
Well, what do you guys think about America being a quote white supremacist country? Because we've heard this argument many times. We've heard this many times from people generally on the left that say America was founded by white supremacists and it is a white supremacist country. My biggest debunk to that is America's the most diverse country in the world. There's no other place where there are so many different people of different backgrounds in one place. Name me a country more diverse than America. I challenge you to do that.
If you want to tell me, so if you want to tell me that America was founded by a bunch of rich white dudes that didn't want to pay taxes, okay, got it, right? Okay, fair enough, right? From Spain and England, whatever, got it. But don't, like, you're not going to tell me like they're like, and like this is an inherently racist country. It's like ridiculous. We were founded, we were established, and we were industrialized by white people. And so, of course, the majority of the money, of the financial prosperity has been in the hands of white people. That's just how it is. It's not some racist thing like, we hate people and we want to keep them out of the money. It's like, no, it's rich people want to keep poor. Rich people want to keep what they got, right? And everybody, if you work for a living, you want to keep what you got, right? And like, if somebody else prospering means that you're going to prosper less, you're not going to be about that. You're naturally not going to be about that. Is that good or bad? Who cares? That's the way it is. It's like, and you want to talk about we're terrible when it comes to wealth distribution or whatever. Like, look at all of these communist countries, right? They're worse. Like and they're selling wealth redistribution, and they're selling the great for the people and all that stuff. But you look at China, you look at Venezuela, you look at Cuba, you look at North Korea, you look all these communist countries, even the old Soviet Union, right? All of them. Okay, so they preached a great game about how we're gonna, we're gonna change the means of production to benefit the people. No, the government officials are some of the richest people on earth, right? In these communist countries, and the people live like dirt. Like they live. The dirt actually lives better than some of the people in these countries. It baffles me. Like the reason that one of the reasons that America is the greatest country to ever exist, and it is.
Yes, preach.
Is because it gives you the opportunity for upward mobility greater than any other country on earth. There's no other, like you're going to have to work hard. Sorry. Okay. You're going to have, if you don't have the money, right? If you don't have money, if you don't have the resources, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to work hard, but it's possible to move upward. And there are countries out there, and there's communist countries where if you're not a part of the elite status, you're never going to be a part of the elite status. Like North Korea, right? If you're part of the lower end of the status, your children are never going to be in that upper status. Your grandchildren are never going to be on that upper status. Here, you have a chance. Is it going to happen? That's up to you, right? The book is unwritten, right? It's up to you to determine how far you want to go. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Are you climbing uphill to get there? Yes. All right. Sorry, but at least you got a chance here. Whereas me in other countries, not so much. Did I miss anything?
That's funny too. Like
nailed it.
Times, that'd be so good.
I just said nailed it. Yeah, you're good.
Like here's the thing too, like when people go and talk about these, like, quote unquote, like socialist countries, it's all European countries they're talking about. They complain about, like, this country is founded by like racist white people, and then they use as examples other countries founded by quote unquote racist white people. Like look at Norway, look at Sweden, like look how many people, like look at the diversity of those countries compared to the United States. You can't even compare them.
Right.
And now they're trying to import a lot of immigrants in there, and they're starting to have issues largely as a result of that.
Yeah.
But like you can't really make these comparisons. Like look at South America, look at Africa, look at pretty much every other major country out there. Like even parts of Asia. The only ones in Asia that are really doing any good is like China and Japan, and might get like Singapore and stuff. But largely the ones that are it's really just like China and Japan, and then you get your Middle Eastern countries, but those ones have their own problems. Like it's none of them really seem even comparable to the United States in terms of.
Doesn't China aren't China putting Muslims in camps too?
They kind of are concentration camps.
Like I'm just like the it's like, okay, you think America sucks or whatever. What's your alternative? Like, what's your alternative? You realize that
Canada.
You realize that world history is completely against your logic, right? You know that, right? Just saying. It's like, well, we're gonna create our own society where everything is cool and everyone gets lollipops and la 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 la. Like, no, it's get out of the.
Look at Canada. It was founded by racist white people too.
Yeah, but Canada is more progressive.
Yes, but Canada has free healthcare.
Yeah, and free college.
I mean, grant you're gonna wait until you're dead just to get a surgery, but still, it's it's not like, and it's like, where else are you gonna find better? And it's like, and we were talking. They were talking about like immigration policies. Don't the taxpayers have a right to determine who they bring into the country?
Kind of. Especially when the people that are coming in might not be paying taxes.
Aren't the taxpayers footing the bill for this sort of things? Don't they have a right to say who comes in and out of this country legally, illegally, whatever? Like sorry, Donald Trump won. The wall is getting built. Sorry, right? It's and it's going to help. And it's the people are like, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop illegal immigration. No,
oh yes, it will.
No, but it's going to make one hell of a dent.
Yeah,
guaranteed. Right? When you have a big frickin' wall getting in the way of you coming into this, just saying.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, did you hear Donald Trump's latest thing with the Mexican president? I think it was. He was doing a 5% tariff until they stop this illegal immigration.
Oh yes, that made me just. My heart was warming from that. I loved it. Slapping that 5% tariff on until they finally do something about their illegal immigration.
See, I don't know why Mexico allows this.
It hurts them.
You know how big Mexico is? You know how big Mexico is. Have you ever seen has CNN or MSNBC has any of these crazy people that watch these channels, have they ever seen a world map? Have they ever seen a world map in their lives? Have you seen how big have you seen how long Mexico is? Right? Have you so when a caravan goes from wherever it is, where do those caravans start?
South America.
Right. So you're telling me that you're gonna let these big freaking caravans, more than one caravan, go all the way up your freaking country. Anybody who listens to this, if you're having any reservations about the caravans, go see a world map. Look how long Mexico is. That's how far these caravans have been going up to go. And they're going up through and they found a way to get to Tijuana, right?
Yeah.
And
the Mexican people in Tijuana were trying to stop them.
Yeah.
They're beating them up.
It's like, how do you not, as a government, let that happen? Go from point A all the way up to point B of Tijuana. The whole country. You let them go up the whole country. That baffles me. I'm saying that 5% that is so warranted.
Oh yeah.
So warranted.
Yeah. Get that, honestly. What they should do is every time you try to go and send money to Mexico, to your relatives or something, they should go and put on a 10% tax on that.
Oh, I agree.
Cause that's how Mexico makes money. Because when people send money back to Mexico, the Mexican government takes a little bit of that. That's where a significant portion of their money comes from. That's why they support. One of the reasons why they support legal immigration, because they don't have to go and provide the jobs or the infrastructure. They just reap the rewards. They go and tax the incoming wealth. And that's that shouldn't be the way that it works over here.
I agree.
Look. Let's be real too. They only care about the big cities, the big tourist traps.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about
the revenue streams.
Yeah, Cancun, Cabo, Puerto Vallarta. You're even Mexico City and all these cities that are cash cows, right? Cabo, right? My mom owns a timeshare in Cabo, so we go down there every year or two, and it's their pier has police forces, and they parade all up and down the pier. They make sure that there's no funny business going on over there. Why? Because they don't want to disrupt that cash cow going on. Anywhere else in Mexico, there's like whatever. You can pretty much do whatever you want at that juncture. No, but no, with when it comes to big frickin' money, right? It's like, oh, we got to protect this cash cow with everything we have. It's like, Tijuana, whatever. I don't know.
Let me get. There we go. I'll get that back on there. I was thinking of something. Why did I lose my point? I do that sometimes. But yeah, I remember what it was. Yeah. Another thing also, because Trump has been slapping tariffs on China and whatnot. Yeah. That's going to be the other interesting battle right there, because China is trying to sit it out to election, season, when they hope Trump gets out of office, and they hope that they can wait it out. But Trump has a really hard game with that, because he has to do stuff that doesn't hurt his reelection opportunities, and China knows that. So it's a really delicate balance. So Trump may just not do any deal, and may just let China sort of crumble and then maybe come to the table. I don't know. It's a hard one to dive into. But any other top? What was that?
Just waiting. Oh.
Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say, if I was Trump, I'd just gonna wait until like after the elections, then just go hard on them for the next 4 years.
I think that's what he might do.
Yeah, I would probably do the same thing. And and the second he wins the election, boom, boom, done.
Mega terrorist.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't tell you guys, or I didn't. Alex saw me doing this, but I just bought a whole bunch of Trump gear on the Memorial Day sale to have a collection of collectibles before they're gone. I got an original official Make America Great Again hat in red. I got the USA hat in red. I got some yard signs and buttons. So I'm going to have a big stash coming in soon. It should have already gotten here, but they said it would take about 3 days, but I think it looks like it's going to take a bit longer, but can't wait till I get that. It was normally $99, so it was like $100 of Trump gear, but I got a discount to $77, but it was totally worth it. So I'm glad I have it. Using that money I've been making from my job for it.
I gotta make some money to spend some money.
Exactly.
Just bring that kind of economy.
Yeah. And that job that I confirmed it for next year too, so be making more monies. But any other little stories you guys want to talk about before we go to break? Any other little things that you thought of?
And how's it being a student who has a job now? Well, not right now, but like had the job like when it was actually in session.
How was it actually having the job?
Working while being a student. How was that work-life balance?
It's definitely a busy week every week when I have my job, because I have to work every Wednesday and recruit people for our club, and that's a lot of work. And now I am the president of that club, Turning Point USA, and I've been playing some stuff over these past few weeks. I've thought some really cool ideas that we're gonna try and do. I'm not going to give away any details yet, but I do have one speaker who is a very popular YouTuber with, I think, about 1 million subscribers, who I texted him and he immediately replied, and he's down for the event we're planning. So I can't wait. It's going to be fun, but we're going to see. I hope to get an extremely big name that we mentioned in this show. I'm not going to reveal who yet because I want to make any promises and I want to leave you in suspense, but you guys will see, and we'll talk about that on here when more details come up. But we're planning big 2 events, so if anybody's interested, you know where it's going to be happening. Here at Penn State, I've been really pushing for this, and we have to talk to speakers now. But it's a lot of work, I have to say, running a club and doing all this sort of stuff. But my God, is it worth it? I love it. I really love it. It's so much fun. Because I was actually talking to. Okay, I hate getting so personal, but. And even anybody that does watch this knows I'm an ad major, but when I was talking to my girlfriend the other night, I kind of started to realize that advertising might just be a starting point for me. And some area in the political realm may be where I'll be in the future. I don't know where, how, maybe I'll be more prominent. Maybe I'll be more behind the scenes. I don't know, but I'm starting to think my future may be in politics, as scary as it sounds.
Much of that ad major was useless.
It is not. I was actually...
And I don't know, used as a jump-off point. People use McDonald's as a jump-off point.
Yeah, into like Wendy's. But this...
if you become, there's some people who made millions of dollars who start out at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, like 2 people. That's very rare. I was actually, when I was looking at Milo's Telegram, he was criticizing Nick Monroe's... advertising ideas for Telegram because he had some awful slogans. I thought they were awful too. And Milo knows how to advertise. He knows how it works. He literally said in one thing, he said to this one ad that Nick Monroe made, it said, Telegram, if you want your tweets more direct into people's phones, no algorithms, no mess. And Milo said, this ad copy is garbage. That's all the text I read. That's what ad copy is. No clear call to action, which is what they teach us in advertising, to have a call to action. No clear value proposition. It's another thing they teach us. And this is the one that always gets... he said, incorrect/confusing use of algorithm. And then he said, and then you never subordinate your own product or brand to another. Why advertise a rival service with the word tweets? Trash. Start again, Nick. And that is something I've learned big time for advertising. Never advertise the other brand. Never, ever do that. That's just so dumb because you're advertising the other brand. You're not advertising you. You're giving them attention. But I tell he gets it. And that's why I was like, oh, man. These advertising things I've learned have actually connected with something. And it's big in politics. It's all advertising. It's marketing.
No, I think...
My job here is marketing.
Yeah. I think that, like if you do decide to, I don't know, flip and go poli-sci or something like that.
No, poli-sci. No, I have a brain. I'm not going to switch to that major.
Look.
There's no point to go poli-sci. If you want to get into politics, you don't have to be a poli-sci major.
Exactly. Most of them are lawyers.
I would say it's probably the third most useless.
What are the 2 above it? Sociology and anything ending in studies.
Pretty much. Actually, I got to give a couple of. It's not
honorable mentions. Honorable mentions.
No. Because anything in studies, because that's like more than one.
Like major. Medieval studies, women's studies.
Yeah.
We don't know anybody with those degrees, by the way. Phil was just telling me that if Hunter, I almost reveal his name. Don't want to say who it is yet, but if a particular YouTuber does come up here, Phil would come to the event.
Absolutely. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so like I gotta say, and I know this is like on air, butt kissing, but I'm telling you, like,
oh no,
I'm telling you, like Sean, you've done a fantastic job, like with. Like doing what you've been doing, like you've walked into this thing saying you had plans, you were going to implement them, and you did not disappoint. You didn't disappoint.
I hope not to.
You didn't but I mean just the fact that you're coming in. You're coming in. The second you took position, you grabbed the bat and you started swinging.
Yeah.
There's no rest. It's like, oh, there's no celebration, stopping to celebrate, no stopping for nicotine. Just pick up the bat and start swinging. No, it's an expression.
I know. I'm kidding.
Like it's, I mean, like, but I gotta say that's tremendous job.
Oh, you're too nice. Thank you.
But we need that's exactly what we need. It's like, how like this campus is just, it really is it's almost a carbon copy imprint of what the media is like just grossly liberal.
Oh yeah.
Grossly liberal. And we're just trying to fight just to keep our heads above water, and like,
well, the way I look at why I just start, as you say, like come out swinging right away is that I see a limited time frame here.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be here one more year. And I want to make every week count, every week have something cool and fun. So my idea for the presidency, I'd been thinking about a long time, like even when I was up and running for the position, I was thinking, all right, what I'm going to do over the summer is we're going to get speakers booked up because that's the best time to do it. You have a lot of time. You're not doing schoolwork. Well, I kind of am now. But you have a lot of time that you can start looking for speakers. You can book rooms, do all this stuff. You got to do it ahead of time because stuff books up. So you got to do it now. Secondly, you need a plan for the whole year. You can't be thinking about this stuff while you're on the move because when the school year hits, it gets busy and always 10 times busier than you think. So you got to plan it now so you can set things up and everybody can have fun. And you got to use everything to the max. So I'm looking at all kinds of stuff. If it's event stuff, if it's anything related to the meetings, I want to restructure and have more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I will even my secretary and I went into the meeting room just actually a few weeks ago, and we immediately thought some cool ideas we could do there, just in making the room look better by putting some decorations up to make this thing look official, to put our banner up behind us right on top to show that we are Turning Point. This is a serious professional organization. Like, there's little things. I know it sounds minor. But little things that will add up that we're looking at changing and improving. Then there's, of course, the big stuff that I can't go into right now, but just little things.
We need content though. And you've worked on that too.
I try.
I just fix up the content. And the one thing, okay, so the one thing that I always loved about Turning Point.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is you welcome everybody.
Absolutely.
Welcome everybody, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what insane stuff you believe in. It's like we welcome everybody, but if you disagree with us,
we're gonna give it to you.
Be prepared. No, just be prepared. If you disagree with us, fine.
That's perfectly fine. Yes.
Just be prepared to defend what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just be prepared, and that's all anybody can really ask for. Look, and it's like, hey, and if you disagree with us, and at the end of the day you still disagree with us, okay, but be prepared. Be prepared to do it again.
Prepared.
You just look, because it's not going to stop. I mean, it's because we're part of making a better society, because we all come from different backgrounds, different ways of life. We have to negotiate this thing because we have limited resources. Even the United States of America has limited resources.
Yes.
Even we have time is a limited resource here. It's like we have to be able to get things done. We have to make the most of what we have, and part of that is negotiating with many people that you may not agree with all the time. If you're trying to get to that end goal, let's get stuff done. Let's get as much stuff done as we can.
That's how I look at this.
That's how you have to be able to talk to whoever you like. And this is what the left doesn't understand. They're not negotiating with these people, with people that they disagree with. They're not. They're shunning people out. They're kicking people out. They're silencing them. They're trying to and that's not. You're not going to get anything done, because at best, you need more than half the people to get anything done, and half of the people disagree with you at least. So you need to start making some freaking compromises. And that's the one thing I freaking love about Turning Point. I absolutely love. We not only do we not shy away, we welcome it. We bring it head on. Look, you come on board. Let's do this. Let's talk. Let's negotiate. Let's to anything we do, because we're human. We're human. We not maybe our stances aren't the greatest. Who knows? I like to think we are, but maybe different things. Maybe we're not seeing things through. Maybe we're looking at things through a myopic lens. I don't know. But I like to think that I put a lot of hard work into my opinions, a lot of research, a lot of time. I like to think that. And I know Sean puts a lot of time into, into what our opinions and our research, and and I welcome a challenge. Turning Point welcomes a challenge,
Yeah,
and that's the one thing
always.
I love about it. It's not like any of these other political organizations. It's like we welcome that. You're a socialist. Great. Come to these meetings. Like be prepared to defend your crazy ideas. But it's not like I'm gonna it's not like you're gonna turn people away.
Yeah, exactly. Was there something you were gonna say, Alex? I heard you speaking earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing you should consider doing is like wearing a business suit. Don't wear no like Salvation Army.
Hey!
Yeah.
She was ripping me earlier about this when I was mentioning my fashion.
Yeah.
You'd be wearing
Hey.
a business suit.
It's
Big boy now.
I'm a big boy now.
Hey,
I'm a big boy now.
I oppose that. I think your fashion is great for an 8-year-old boy. Fantastic fashion. Look,
TP Present's getting ripped right now.
Yeah,
for his fashion choices. I guess I'll take that criticism over any other criticism.
Here's my kind of thoughts on that. You're going off to, you want to make yourself look important. Look at Sargon. He got a business suit. Like that. Get your little Joseph Warehouse or whatever.
Joseph Warehouse? Joseph ain't paid.
It's the best $300 you'll ever spend.
I'm going to get a suit over the summer. Don't worry.
Learn how to tie the tie. Or at least learn how to use that app I showed you. It works.
Yeah, that was a challenge for Campus Clash. The biggest challenge of that day was tying a tie. Not handling the event, not coordinating the security, not, making sure Don Jr. would be there on time, not making sure the banner would be up on time. No, it was tying that tie.
No, seriously though, like, if you use this as an opportunity, because you start tying a tie like every Wednesday, you'll learn how to tie a tie for the business world by the time you're done this. No matter where you're at with your major, you're going to need to wear a tie.
That's true. Well, I'm not going to be wearing, and I don't know if this is what you're implying, but I'm not going to be wearing suits at the Turning Point meetings.
At least wear a nice button-up shirt and a tie.
I'm going to wear some nice clothes, but I want to dress relatably. I want to be authentic. That's the problem with dressing up, is sometimes it's inauthentic and can look a little too, preppy to people. So I want to...
You have to have some sort, that'll help. At least for your first meeting, I'd wear...
I was thinking maybe the first meeting I might... What were you saying?
You should be wearing a tie, at least a shirt and a tie. Say that, hey, this means something to me. Because, listen, you're in college right now. College is nice, but in the real world, you're not be able to wear a t-shirt and.
Let's give us 5.
I don't want to repeat.
Let's give us 7. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
There was a slight miscalculation on my parts, but no, just make sure you wear something nice. So you can't wear a bit like a t-shirt and a pair of jeans to work every day. At least not for your major, I don't think. Advertising's big business, and you don't have to go and wear a business suit, but at least wear a nice polo shirt and some slacks, or wear something with a tie, preferably, because you need to be able to learn how to do that. And
no, I know how to do it. I know how to do it.
I know, but you need to be able to know how to do it off the top of your head.
That's true, but I'm gonna work on that. But I think for the first meeting, I should wear a polo and jeans, because that's casual.
No, you need to wear a business suit for the first.
What? This isn't I see. I don't want the organization to look like a business. I want it to look like a fun college, club.
You're not a fun college club. That's what the college Republicans are.
Yeah, but they wore suits and crap for their first meeting.
I know they show it, but they don't actually do it. That's the one thing that I agree with them on. You should wear a suit. Unless this is coming from somebody who only wore a suit maybe a handful of times before I graduated college. You want to get used to that and to show off that professionalism.
I want to be
Yeah.
professional
You
but
don't-
fun, because like I want, like, when you see people in suits, you're not very approachable. You're very like businessy, and I
Wear a suit and a t-shirt like a certain someone.
yeah, like Charlie.
You know what you should wear? You should wear that Tux t-shirt.
Yeah, there you
telling
go.
you, nail it.
There you
Nail
go.
it.
Perfect
At least
compromise.
wear a polo and some like slacks.
I might
make-
do that. I want to look casual.
As
with it.
business casual.
Yes. There we go. What were you saying?
And a real polo, and a real decent looking polo, not the Salvation Army surplus.
Well, actually, I will say this because this isn't too personal, but since I gave my girlfriend some Easter gifts, and let's just say she didn't really know that Easter was to be celebrated. I'm not ripping on her or anything, so it's fine. But I understood why she was that way. But she got me a gift when I came to summer session. And when I was reading the card, she said, "And here's a shirt that's better than that Salvation Army one you had." And she gave me a shirt she got at H&M that was a button-up shirt that was a simple black one that looked pretty nice. So maybe I'll wear that. Maybe.
Wear a button-up shirt, some slacks, and some dress shoes.
I do have my comfy dress shoes. I'll probably wear those.
You wear those, like, you know, you can find dress shoes that don't feel bad. Like, I have some dress shoes that are probably the nicest pair of shoes that I had, but I mean, I spent $200 on them. But that's because I got, like, you know, feet that are like, you know, the animal, the duck. I just want to make sure I preface that so that we don't have any sort of conundrums.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I was thinking, though, also for the first meeting, here's an idea. I'm going to A/B test this here. You know how every club meeting, they always have free pizza, right? You know, it's kind of the typical thing. What if to separate ourselves, on a hot summer day, we have free ice cream? What are your thoughts on that?
That would be cool.
How the heck are you gonna pay
Nice
for that?
pun. What?
How the heck are you gonna pay for that?
We're not that poor.
No, you can go to Walmart and you can buy those giant tubs for like
Yeah.
a couple.
Well,
You
that's
don't
what I
have
was
to buy the-
thinking.
Well, you can work out let's see if you can work out a deal with
The creamery.
yeah.
Oh, they're actually, no, I might know some you can.
No, yeah, you could
Oh.
you could
Well,
Like-
that's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
we could get like a tub, like at the creamery, put it, you know, in one of those
Yeah.
dry ice things to make sure
Right.
it's cold, and we could serve people ice cream. It's different, and it's a hot summer sunny day. It's a perfect thing to have because every club does free pizza, so that's kind of, I mean, it's a good incentive. Don't get me wrong, but it gets lost in your mind because every club's offering free pizza, but the club that offers you free ice cream, you're gonna remember them because you don't hear that often, and it gives you an incentive to go because everybody loves ice cream.
One question though is like, what sort of budget are you looking at?
Ooh, I don't know yet. Maybe I would be willing to put up 20, and I think the whole board could each put up 20. So you'd have 2, 4, 6, 8. You'd have total of $80 at least for the first meeting around.
I'd go to buy a 3-gallon one. I talked to them. I think they sell them. I think they're like $30 or something for a 3-gallon.
Okay, well we would probably get a little less than that 'cause that's a lot.
Well, well, I mean, you pay less than that. You pay more for less. Like
That's
you get,
true.
You get a big cup like that. Yeah, that's probably. I can see what I can do because I used to work there.
Oh, thank you. Well, when we
But-
could also get some we could keep bringing for future meetings. You know, because the pizza's gone. The ice cream you can put in the fridge and then use it again the next meeting.
well, you gotta be careful because you don't want to get like freezer burn. Get all
Freezer
Oh,
burn.
no, the problem with that would be trying to actually fit it inside your freezer. You're gonna need to get I guess you could move it to a smaller container.
I can move it to a smaller container, and I think there's people that had bigger freezers that I know that live off campus. I could do it. Possibly.
That's the way to do it.
We'll think about it. But I wanted to A/B test the idea because I thought about a lot. Like literally 2 nights ago, I was just laying there and thinking about it, and that came to me. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Is there anything else happening in you guys' lives that's fun that you want to talk about? That's cool, interesting, cool stories. Anything? Nothing.
Think of anything off the top of my head?
Oh, I have a fun story, but I can't say it on air. It has
Well,
some-
why would you do that? Why would you say, "Oh, I got a fun story," but I'm not gonna say it on air?
No, because I want to tell you guys. Because
But you're saying it on air. Like
I'm not
you're
saying.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying you're saying I have a cool story.
I know,
on
but-
air, but you saying, "Oh, but I can't say it on air." Like,
Well, you'll understand after I say it's got
yeah,
some details.
but everybody else
I know
doesn't
they're getting
understand.
teased. Okay, if you want to hear the story, you will have to find me in person on campus to hear it. It's gonna be difficult, but look for the curly-haired guy running around. But
And the Salvation Army shirt.
hey, now, not all of them were Salvation Army. This one was from Cape
It's the
Hatteras from North Carolina.
finest T-shirt in Old Navy. No,
But no, I do have a fun story I want to tell you two afterwards.
All right.
It's going to give you a big laugh. But anything, because we have a few minutes left, I was trying to think of anything that you guys want to talk about. 'Cause I've been talking about me, and all my little club stuff. But we'll talk about that some more, though. Do you guys have any ideas for Turning Point? Any like concerns you've had, problems, things that you've seen that need to be fixed? Like some constructive criticism here. I think everybody would be interested in this, hopefully.
I think that most of the old problems with, you got blank slate. I don't think, I was never really a major part of that. So when I was here, there was only like a handful of people, and there was, it was like in its infancy. But from what I saw during your meeting, like your Trump event, I thought that was very good. I definitely, keep reaching out to the administration within that organization, because I'm sure they have a lot of, maybe they could help you out with that ice cream stuff.
We might be able to pay for it.
Pockets. Maybe they go and assist with that at least.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, the tricky thing that's going to be with speakers is the university can only fund one event per academic year. And there's a really big speaker we want with a lot of money involved. And we can make it happen. We could have 2 speaker events, one in the spring, one in the fall, if we get particular help from another right-wing organization. If we do, they can help cover that one. We can cover the first one. We can both be partners on and have a good time, but it's to be determined. Yeah. But hopefully there's less drama this year, because we had a lot of drama last year with some certain people and some certain organizations. So, that's the other thing. I want to cut out the drama on Turning Point. Just none of that.
Sarah wants to cut the drama, but it never happens.
Yeah,
At
I
least
know.
They say they do. Like, that's with any organization with a lot of people, though. You're going to have drama. 'Cause
You
got
are.
people with interests who want to go and gain power,
Yeah.
or other, tangential things that are based off of power.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's summer semester going, by the way? How have you been enjoying that?
It's been busy. It's keeping me busy. I have to say, I had an interesting class taking health and sexuality.
There you go.
Do you want to talk anything about that particular professor?
I guess we could dive into it. I'm not afraid. So this class, we'll talk about quickly before we have to go. And let's see, okay, we have about 3 minutes left. Okay, this class, it's about sex. Just gonna get out the door. It's about sex. And our professor is obviously left wing. He loves the Clintons. He's pro-choice, and he is, he's obviously a left wing guy. But I thought, okay, let's separate that from the curriculum here. But in the curriculum, we were basically taught sociology for the first 2 weeks. Third week, we finally get into some biology. But he has preached the gender gap myth. He has said that gender is a social construct. And that's only the start of what I can think of. There's been some other stuff that's, like one of the things he was talking about is why do men not live as long as women? And he was contributing that. The reasons he was giving for that were totally ridiculous. He said, well, men do risky things. And that's not the only reason. That's a silly, like, one-dimensional view of it. Men have, like women, for example, have kids. Women are inherently, they have different bodies. Women might be getting better health care. Women might not have, women are in different jobs than men. There's so many other factors that he never considered. And when I point some stuff out, he's always said I'm wrong on stuff, except a few things.
And men are more protective too. Like they're more protective, like of women too. Like there still is that old school, like, women and children are the first ones on the boat when the main one's going down. Like there's a lot of that. Like, and it's like, that Look at the military. Like a lot of the combat, positions are held by men, right? It's just how it is.
Well, and the thing is like this professor will cite studies and statistics. Well, I know he says them, but he doesn't cite them. He won't give the source, only on a few of them. So I don't know what to believe. And this whole gender, he kept contradicting gender's a social construct thing, because he would say, well, there's many ways you could, stand on gender. But then he would say, but it's biologically based. And he would say, like, men have a gentleman's sausage and women have the meow meow part. He would say that these are biological components, but then he would still say it's socially constructed. And I flat out asked him, I said, can me, Sean, right here, identify as a woman? As you can tell, I am a man. I have manly parts on me. But guess what he said? Yes, you can identify as a woman. And we had to watch a transgender documentary yesterday, which was very interesting. It was called I Am Jazz.
Of course, it's that one.
Oh, dude, that one was fun. I'm telling you, I was ripping that one left and right because the parents were. You know how this person thought they were transgender? Because they had a dream with some fairy that told this boy that I'm getting confused, that he was a woman, and ever since then, this young child was convinced that they were a woman because of a dream. A dream.
Kids, this is why I generally don't agree with having kids chop off their doodads and bits.
I agree. Be 18. Be 18, then go figure it out. You want to identify as whatever you want to be once you turn 18. Or once you become your own individual. Hey, go for it. Go out there and be somebody. Don't freaking like if you're below the age of 18, no, you should not have a say in
well, and that's what this documentary was talking about, was when she reached the age of 11. She hadn't even reached 11 yet, and they were talking about doing hormone replacement, surgery, because she was hitting puberty, or
Dictator Phil would have those parents thrown in prison.
Oh, these parents were annoying me. The dad was being a total wimp. I was so triggered.
Well, I don't know how much is the parents' fault as much as the media, who tells the parents, hey, if you're not agreeing with this, you're like a bigot. You're sexist, or you're anti-trans or whatever. Like I saw a thread on 4chan the other day. There was some like dad it was in California, and his son drew a picture of someone with a football jersey, and they thought it was a dress. So they made the kid go to these like transgender classes.
Oh.
To bring it up to the parents. And I know it's 4chan, but it's California too. It's like I could see this happening.
Me too.
And school wanted to go and take away, like they wanted to go and force the kid to start transitioning, basically, and the parents had to go and take him out of school.
Jeez. Well, one of the things in this that got me was that oh god, I'm losing my thought again. What was I gonna say?
More coffee fee.
I already drank all my coffee fee. It was something in this document. It's real coffee, kind of. It's Dunkin' now. Not an advertisement, don't endorse it, but it is Dunkin'. I forget. Maybe I'll remember it later. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.